は山梨名物のほうとう。食べたいものぶれていません。
嬉しさでオンとオフあります。
俺全部いつもオフかな。
そうやってなるんだ。いい話。
はいはい。
Japan Hour tonight on CNA. Japan Hour is brought to you by Sumitomo Corporation and SMBC.
More than 60 victims of Malaysia's recent train accident have been discharged. 5 remain in hospital, with 3 expected to recover in the coming days. More than 200 people were injured after 2 trains collided on the Kuala Lumpur LRT line. The railway operator Prasarana is offering about $240 in compensation to all victims. Medical expenses and lost income will also be covered. At the same time, Malaysia's transport minister says any victim is welcome to take legal action against Prasarana, but he reiterated the LRT system remains safe and reliable. Preliminary investigations indicate driver negligence caused the crash. He's accused of driving his train in the wrong direction. Final investigation results are expected in 2 weeks. It's the first major metro accident on the subway system after 23 years in operation. Hong Kong officials have warned the public not to take part in this year's Tiananmen Square events on the 4th of June. It said the gatherings are illegal. Offenders could face up to 5 years in prison and face charges for violating COVID-19 rules. Police have banned the annual candlelight vigil at Victoria Park, citing the coronavirus pandemic. A rally to mark the 1989 Tiananmen Square incident next Sunday has also been banned. Officials said the number of COVID-19 infections has yet to come under control, while vaccination rollout in Hong Kong has been slow. Organisers have accused the government of using the pandemic as an excuse to stop people from commemorating June 4th. The candlelight vigil usually attracts tens of thousands. It was banned last year for the first time in 30 years, but thousands showed up anyway. The maiden voyage of a new British aircraft carrier aims to show its allies that post-Brexit Britain is ready to defend Western interests. The UK is also eager to see China respect international rules. This according to Commodore Steve Morehouse, who's captain of the aircraft carrier HMS Queen Elizabeth.
The UK's new $4.2 billion aircraft carrier is underway on its maiden voyage, an 8-month tour that will cross through the South China Sea and in doing so send a clear signal to Beijing. Fighter jets took off from the deck of the HMS Queen Elizabeth this week in the Mediterranean as part of NATO exercises. Watching the drills was NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg himself.
It sends a message of NATO's resolve and our capability and willingness to defend all allies against any threat. And it also sends a message of how NATO allies can operate together.
China claims 90% of the South China Sea, although several regional countries contest the boundaries, and the US has regularly sent warships through the area. Britain was the main battlefield ally of the US in Iraq and Afghanistan, and alongside France, the principal military power in the European Union. But its 2016 vote to leave the EU raised questions about its global role. London announced its biggest military spending increase since the Cold War late last year, partly in response to those concerns.
It shows that we're a global navy and wanting to be back out there. We'll be operating with the United States, but also regional partners, Singapore, Japan, Republic of Korea, other ASEAN nations. Will not only be exercising militarily, but also supporting the government's wider objectives in the region. I mean, the economies out there are growing. It's an increasingly important part of the world. So hopefully the aim for us is this deployment will be the first of a more persistent presence for the United Kingdom in that region.
U.S. President Joe Biden has proposed a $6 trillion budget for 2022. It combines his existing infrastructure, education, and social welfare plans into one huge package aimed at transforming the economy. It would take government spending to its highest levels since World War II. Jagruti Dave reports from Washington.
Joe Biden's first budget of his presidency seeks to build upon measures he's already introduced in his $2.3 trillion American Jobs Plan and $1.9 trillion American Families Plan. Trillions of dollars are earmarked towards measures such as pandemic preparedness, combating climate change, and investing in research and development. Annual government spending is expected to rise to $8.2 trillion by the end of 2031. Biden's administration says the staggering injection of funds is necessary to allow the United States to compete with other countries, most notably China. It requests a 10% increase in the State Department's budget compared to last year, which a State Department spokesperson said would allow the United States to engage China in the Indo-Pacific and globally from a position of collective strength. Now, the White House predicts that economic growth would fall to 2% or less from 2022 to the end of the decade if the president's proposals are not approved. Now, it plans to pay for the budget by increasing taxes on top earners and on corporations, effectively boosting the middle classes at the expense of the rich. But Republicans are pushing back against the cost of all of this, having already raised debt and inflationary concerns regarding Joe Biden's existing jobs and families proposals. And they're also resisting what they see as unnecessary government overreach, with trillions of dollars going towards social policies such as tackling inequality and expanding health coverage.
And in Singapore, an app to block potential scam-related texts and calls has been downloaded by nearly 120,000 people since it's launched in November. Here's how the app works. For unwanted messages, AI is used to identify and filter out potential scam texts, sending them to the phone's junk folder. It also blocks suspicious messages and calls from numbers reported earlier by users. About 720,000 scam-related messages have been reported so far, with 5,500 suspicious numbers blocked. Last year, over $60 million was lost in Singapore from scams like phishing, loan, and China officials impersonation cases. A Scam Shield user says that she almost never gets harassed anymore.
Prior to downloading Scam Shield, I got about 4 to 5 scam messages in a week, and I received calls from numbers that I didn't recognize like every other day. But after downloading and using Scam Shield for about 4 months now, I've received barely any calls, perhaps about 1 call per month. The Anti-Scam Center reviews, sends, makes, and takes preventive actions on the information received from Scam Shield. The information allows the Anti-Scam Center to detect emerging scam trends and provide timely advisories to warn the public about the latest scam trends promptly.
And still ahead on Asia Now, wild monkeys rescued while being smuggled into Thailand. And later, climate change hits the US hard, but Alaska is taking most of the heat.
Have fun while breaking a sweat on your next visit to Gangnam. Enjoy the weightlessness of bungee fitness, or learn the health benefits of pole dancing. So don't miss the opportunity to feel the burn with the latest workout trends in Korea. Gangnam Insiders Picks, Sunday on CNA. This program is brought to you by the Gangnam-gu office. This June, Asia's past, present and future comes together. Race to feed the world as scientists, farmers and entrepreneurs solve the impending food crisis. Journalist Yuma Raki unveils the transformation of Japan's social and political identity in Deciphering Japan, and relive the history of the Chinese Communist Party as it marks 100 years of existence. This June on